Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Team Netcode channel. I am Josh Gerlach. I'm joined once again by Blake Walker. We are here following the Thursday preliminary night at the 40th Annual Chili Bowl Nationals. It did not disappoint once again, Blake. We just wrapped up one hell of a feature that I cannot wait to talk about with you. Before we dive into all the action and everything that happened tonight at the Chili Bowl, the Texas Tulsa Expo Center, please hit the like button, hit the share button as well. We're really enjoying doing these things, and it's all possible because you guys are sharing them, liking them, and giving us some love. So we appreciate it. That's another way to help support us for free as well. So if you could do that, that would be helpful. Hit subscribe, leave us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We are putting all these shows in audio form, also on the podcast apps. So thank you very much, Blake. It was one heck of a show. It is Throwback Thursday. We'll get that out of the way as well.
It is.
All my Knoxville Raceway peeps, you'll recognize the Archie Ergenbright T-shirt. I know we've got some of the family that watch this as well. So thanks to Levitt Graphics, they put this together a couple years ago, which is really cool. You're not a throwback, but you're a pretty happy guy, Blake. What are you wearing?
I got my Alex Bowman Racing shirt on from a sprint car. I think this might have been the first or second year of ABR when Alex was racing with High Limit. So good night.
Week so far for them.
Yeah, it has been a good week. You know, when I saw that they were only bringing 2 cars, I'm like, man, that stinks. I was like, I like the years when it was Alex, CJ Leary, Jake Swanson, Kevin Thomas Jr. And they were only going down to 2. Alex has sold a bunch of his stuff, and then Briggs Danner gets it in the show. I'm like, all right, good speed. They've always brought good speed. Like,
yeah.
if you're a ball knower, you know that they bring great speed to the Chili Bowl.
Just haven't brought the luck.
Yeah, they tore up everything last year. And then all of a sudden, CJ Leary, we'll talk about it later, but almost had the feature in his hands. It would have been, to my knowledge, ABR's first win in dirt racing, I'm pretty sure, unless they've won a random show in Pennsylvania or a local show, but fell just short in second. But you don't have to get up early on Saturday if you're part of the Alex Bowman Racing crew, and I know they're going to party hard tonight. CJ seemed disappointed, but I'm happy for them and the whole team. So
yeah, firing off from the pole is probably always going to be a little disappointing, but at the end of the day, you're locked into the Saturday A-main at the Chili Bowl. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, it was a fun night. The track was awesome. I mean, it was really crazy. And yeah, we'll just jump right in for the most part for those starting to file in. Heat race number 1 winner, Frank Flood, goes 1-1. Obviously, you think of the Chili Bowl, you think Tulsa, you think Frank Flood. Obviously, one of the winningest drivers in Tulsa shootout history. So cool to see that. And Chris Windom goes 6-2. Anytime you knew that Chris Wyndham's going to be in a really good piece, even if he's not, or, you know, whatever, Chris Windom is going to go forward and set the tone early, all things considering.
He did. You know, once again, you know, the first race tonight did not have anybody coming from deep, but showed right away with Windom that we were going to have another sporty track, and like we've already teased a little bit, we were definitely right, and was setting up for a good night of racing for sure.
Heat number 2, it looked like things were going to start really well. Brady Bacon goes 4-1, and you're like, all right, here we go. They were mentioning on the broadcast that Brady really, really, really wants a golden driller for the Chili Bowl, and we'll talk about it later. It didn't really work out in his favor, but at least from the time being, goes 4-1, so a good run for him. Kyle Cummins 1-1. No surprise in those spots, Josh, all week long. It just kind of feels like you just got to deal with the card that you were dealt. Now, our winner tonight, 1-1 in his heat race. So just kind of one of those things.
Yeah, and it's interesting also, you know, in Kyle's shoes, you know, he's a veteran. He knows how to get around that place. He's a champion. He just won the USAC National Sprint Car Championship last year. But you know, that's the positive and negative of having successful teammates, I'd say, is you start to get compared against them with what we've seen with Jet Barnes and Emerson Axum, of course, winning last night. You know, everybody was saying, you know, is he going to contend for the win tonight?
Do it again.
Yeah, you got to live up to those expectations. He looked good all night. We'll talk about how he performed in the feature here in a little bit, but yeah, it looked good. You know, CJ Leary, tale of what we were coming to expect here later on tonight as well. 9-3 was very impressive.
Somebody kind of helped him out, and there were a lot of cautions to help him out.
Absolutely, felt like there was like 4 or 5. If I remember.
It was wild. I didn't think the car was ever fully dialed in per se, but yeah, 9-3, and then Johnny Kent goes 8-4. So
that was a little bit of the luck that I was saying before that was missing for ABR in the past. They definitely had some there in that heat race.
Yeah. Heat race number 4, Caden Sorali goes 4-1. Boy, he had a night. I mean, quietly had a really good night. Good run for Caden. Ryan Burnell goes 6-2. We'll talk about Ryan Burnell here a little bit later. He was disappointed to finish 3rd, but that's just kind of how it is at the Chili Bowl. Strong run for him. Christopher Bell in Heat 5, 1-1. Ashton Torgerson 8-3. I'll get to it when I go down, but Torgerson kind of dropped a little bit in the feature. Like I thought he was going to be right there competing. I think he still finished decent, but
fell back to 10th, actually.
Yeah. I mean, that's that. I wouldn't have thought that. Like I thought for sure with the speed that he showed earlier in the night, I thought Torgerson was going to be the man to win it. But
yeah, I mean, I think when we jumped in here at first, you were kind of thinking that he might be one to compete for the win, and unfortunately for him, did not turn out to be that.
Heat race number 6, Spencer Baston goes 3-1. Good run for Spencer Baston. Good to see him back in the car. Did not make the A main last year. Didn't lock it in tonight, but has, I think they said 9 times been a part of the A main. So he's got a couple to throw in there. Experience. And then Carter Sarf goes 6-3 and was just very, very patient, very patient to keep chucking away on a couple spots. And that's one of Chase Briscoe's cars. So really cool to see that for Carter Sarf.
It was. And he was digging pretty much all night. And after that heat race in Heat 6, that's when things really started to get
I don't know what, a little
frisky with the flip counter.
Somebody put on the iBox Springs flip counter, but Caleb Henry wins the heat race. Good for Caleb. It has been a hard, tumultuous summer since he was life flighted away from a racetrack. And that's just kind of one of those things that life happens quick. He's in good spirits. He looks to be doing well. But yeah, get a heat race win. I mean, that's always cool.
He was up on the wheel throughout the night. We'll get to that here in just a second as well. But one of our Knoxville Raceway regulars started his night off in a big way. He went for one hell of a ride out of turn 4, kind of what we saw earlier with, I can't recall, I think he was a New Zealander or an Aussie.
Yeah.
Kind of got up over the cushion, stuck in the gas just a little bit too long, and that thing took off.
Yeah, and Alex Vandervoort, Knoxville regular, he even said on the cart back to Brian Ward, he's like, I don't drive these things. He's like, I'm a wing sprint car guy. And he said even then he was kind of learning on the fly and just kind of tried to throttle out of it and just didn't work. And he took a nasty tumble. And they somehow got it fixed. I mean, they said he might have been borrowing parts from some people or some other people, but very rough hit. And Flo just happened to get a slow-mo of the hit if you want to feel even worse about the hit. Just everything went wrong for Alex Vandervoort tonight, and it really stinks because he's a really good guy. But tough hit.
Yeah, had a little bit of a limp getting out of there too, but he was back out there again. Didn't end very well for him in his next race either. But so that sucked. But on a positive, Xavier Doney, he looked really sporty in his heat race. Went 8-4.
Yep.
I think probably one of the coolest storylines of the night was the Heat Race 8 winner was another Knoxville regular, 410 rookie this year. Well, technically in 2025, was Jacob Hughes. He held off some charges from a previous A main starter on Saturday night, and he won his damn heat race. That was really cool.
He just kept putting that thing around the bottom, and it was probably very frustrating behind him. I think it was Stratton was behind him, and he just kept doing what he was doing. Jacob Hughes sold some T-shirts tonight. I don't know if they made T-shirts for the Chili Bowl, but Jacob Hughes merch. I mean, people are going to remember that. I mean, that is such a cool thing for him to win the heat race. And then obviously we'll talk about the B, but that was really like the big one where you're like, oh, what's going to happen? But the emotion, I mean, it was just so cool. And you expect that out of Jacob if you've ever talked to Jacob. But I was so happy for him. And he first ever time, and he's like, we're in the Amy. He's like, we want a heat race.
It's just that easy, man. We heard later in the night that his dad wasn't down there, that he
I know
was giving
might
some
have to
shit,
make a drive down there on Saturday.
Bring some merch if you got any. Maybe we sell some shirts on Saturday.
On heat number 9, Tanner Thorson goes 4-1. Quiet night for Tanner Thorson. Good night, but I definitely feel like ever since the Race of Champions didn't really go the way he wanted, he's probably not very happy.
Probably not. And I know Dirt Vision had some pre-race words with him. Dave Reef did a little interview, and he said, hey, we're still making changes. He wasn't quite happy with it. I know, if I recall correctly, he's got 4 springs on that setup. So,
over,
and they're not swappable, if I recall correctly.
I believe so. Yep.
Kind of is a little stuck with what he's got there. He did end up rebounding on, for the feature, which he was my pick. Unfortunately, I'm just on the struggle bus this week.
Meanwhile, Cade and I are just having a war.
Yeah, screw you guys. I've had really good picks, and you guys have just been a little bit better. But like I tweeted about, it's not how you start, Blake, it's how you finish.
That is true.
So when I pick the winner on Saturday night, I'll be able to reign supreme over you guys.
Yeah, because you'll sandbag tomorrow night and pick.
hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
We had a couple more big accidents. Danny Sams, the Florida man, caught a rut with his right rear and just like caught it and flipped.
It's a weird one.
Oh, it was weird. Like it was almost like he hit an invisible brick or something. It just flipped it. It was so weird.
And if I recall correct, that was his first race.
I think
midget,
so.
Right?
Yeah.
He didn't get any practice besides
welcome
hot laps.
Show. Yep.
Welcome to Chili Bowl.
I tell you what, hot laps. Like this is the first day that I've been able to sit down and watch from like 3:30 in the afternoon to 5. Hot laps just seem like chaos. Like there are so many cars. It almost feels like
4
too many
wide,
cars.
3 wide, greasier than hell.
And like most of the time, you're not even getting a great lap. Like you're just like, let's just kind of feel it out. Like I can't believe more guys don't reckon hot laps, but.
Don't tempt them.
Well,
we got plenty of hot laps coming up the rest of this week. Don't tempt them.
Kevin Newton took a big tumble. He had contact outside of turn 2. It's just a tough break for Kevin Newton. Just big wrecks.
That was big. He put on a hell of a show tonight too. We'll get to that a little bit later as well. He that was not the end of his night, and not the end of his flipping tonight.
Led into the D mains. Was this our first D mains of the week? Or on Tuesday when I was not here, did they do D mains?
I think that we've had them once before.
Okay.
I know there were some crashes that took them out of the show, and I think that there weren't any on Monday because of the Race of Champions, so they were a little bit lighter that night.
Yep.
But yeah.
Brandon Maddox and PJ Gargiulo, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was a J, not a G. They were struggling with it in there as well. There was also a town name in Ohio that they were going after, and I can't remember. I think it might have been Wapakoneta.
Full disclosure, I was cooking some dinner when that one was going off, and I was able to get all of my dinner done and eaten in the time that it took to get that race done, because they had about 4 or 5 different wrecks.
D-main number 1 took probably about 20 minutes. There were 4 separate incidents. Rip bozos. It was just a really rough D-main. It was entertaining, but just a lot of incidents. And then D-main number 2, John Clabundi and Kevin Newton were the D-main transfers. In C-main number 1, Matt Sherrill takes the win. Kyle Simon, Carter Jensrud, and Cody Weisensell. Yep. Did I miss any?
I don't know. I think you got it. You nailed it.
Jensrud.
Matt Sherrill started. He had a really good night. That was the beginning of his little soup expedition. And
it we always, or I don't think we fully appreciate the soup runs in the preliminary nights, but there are good soup runs, and
for sure.
Sherrill did a really nice job all night long.
It's a little bit, it's not easy by any means, so don't take that out of context, but it is a little bit easier than what you'll see on Saturday, just because you do have the field spread out a little bit. But not taking anything away from Matt. He put on a show and passed a ton of cars tonight.
Right. C-main number 2, Cooper Miller got the win. Brady Wyatt, Josh Balicki, NASCAR star. Well, they said NASCAR star. I'll leave it at that. Braxton Cummins also moving on. I'm sorry. I just, star, it's hard to drive race cars. I'm not going to put it past that. But I was happy to see Josh Balicki do well.
Hey, we're all stars in somebody's eyes.
Got in trouble in the B main. He was having issues, but good to see Josh Balicki. I love seeing the NASCAR guys come over here and race in the Chili Bowl. Shout out Jesse Love, did you like the driver's portion during the call? I thought I do
like that.
Justin Grant, Clint Boyles, and Jesse Love were in the booth.
Yep, them in the booth. Then you had Hank Davis and Cannon McIntosh on the ramp.
And I thought they all did a good job. The drivers that they interviewed thought it was funny more than anything.
Oh man, Seabell was clowning on Cannon. That was so good. And then you had Hank asking Ashton what his favorite cartoon was, and I don't know if he was trying to ask what his current one was because he's so young, or what it was in the past.
I don't know, but I thought.
What's
that
your favorite cartoon, funny. Blake? We'll move past.
Favorite cartoon, Ron? Hang on. Let me think. Favorite cartoon growing up? It was probably Phineas and Ferb. I was a big Phineas and Ferb kid growing up.
I mean, I'm with Ashton. You can't go wrong with SpongeBob.
Yeah, I just wasn't a SpongeBob guy. Maybe that's how I am today.
I got nothing.
I don't know. In C main number 2, we had some rough wrecks. Joe Perry biked it into turn 1, but he didn't flip before he got to the wall. He stayed on a bike until he got to turn 1 and then drilled the outside wall while being in a bike position, and then it just tumbled over. You don't see sparks a lot, I feel like, at the Chili Bowl, and there was a shroud of sparks around that car. I mean, that was a tough hit.
Yeah, it wasn't quite the same wreck as what we saw with Aiden Price last night, but kind of similar impacts. And yeah, it's good to see him be okay after that. And it was odd that you see somebody, and Clinton called that out on the broadcast also, that like you don't see people bike it that long, and even it was settling back down, but the K rails kind of impeded the settling down of the car.
Kevin Newton tried all he had to get up through the field in the C main. He stuck it full throttle open in turn 3 and 4, coming to the white, made contact, still stuck it. He was going to get in, and then he cooked it going into turn 3, and that thing just tipped over. Go get a Kevin Newton shirt if you're at the Expo Center. I mean, just an unbelievable effort. Shout out the guy who's in an Iowa Hawkeye shirt and hat over here on the pre-race show. That's nice. Kevin Newton just, it was awesome. It was so cool to see, and I'm so sad how it ended.
Yeah, and like they mentioned on the broadcast there too, like he has done a lot for sprint car racing here recently, and Braxton Cummings did not cut him a single inch on the racetrack, and you're racing to transfer to the next main. I totally get it. And Kevin was not giving an inch on the flip side, and it was fun as hell to watch for a lap, 2 laps, awesome. And then it was over because he hit the slick, and like you said, went for a hell of a ride. But yes, you put in here valiant effort, and I echo that for sure.
Yeah. Moved us on to the qualifiers. Christopher Bell started second in qualifier number 1, did his job, did exactly what he needed to do. CJ Lurie quickly got up to second, so goes from 6 to 2. He was the high point man on the night. I don't know if it was every night. I think they were giving $500 to the high point man. I don't know if that's every night, though. I saw they gave it to yesterday.
I would imagine so.
It's got to be. So. Yeah, I think so. Don't quote us on it, but it is.
Because I do know that the race for the million, there was extra money that they were putting into the pot this week too.
I think so. Something like that. Andrew Deal finishes 3rd, Jeffrey Abbey finishes 4th, and Xavier Doney finishes 5th. Qualifier number 2, Ashton Torgerson goes 4-1. That's what gave me the confidence for Torgerson. The car just looked hooked up. Yep. Carter Sarf, Tanner Thorson, Jacob Denny, and Sam Haferteep Jr. And then in qualifier number 3, Spencer Basin 4-1, Chris Wyndham 5-2, Frank Flood, Danny Stratton, and Brant Woods. Baston won by like 5 seconds. Probably, I think, the biggest gap we've seen in a qualifier, at least this week. So. He was patient and just looked really, really comfortable in the car.
Yep. He had to. Jacob, as he admitted, he's not very experienced in a midget, and you could tell he was being a little safe, and Spencer didn't dirty him up or anything. And once he got clear of all of them, he was absolutely gone. It looked like Ryan Timms in his heat race last or a couple nights ago, where it was just over once he got past him. And that had me questioning my pick a little bit, because I waffled on Spencer versus Tanner, and it's a good run by Spencer. Good to see.
And then qualifier number 4, Kyle Cummins gets the win. Ryan Burnell second. Joel Myers Jr. 7-3. Good run there. And then Brecken Reese and Trevor Klein 9-5. Trevor Klein eked out Brady Bacon. Brady started 6th. It was looking it sounds easy, but you're just like, all right, make a couple positions and you're going to be sitting pretty. Brady just couldn't go anywhere. Just kind of got stuck. Trevor Klein got past him late, and I think only 65 points is what Brady was able to muster up out of that qualifier.
Yeah, it just didn't look, I don't know, didn't look comfortable. Just couldn't look like
didn't look like the heat race.
Yeah, he just couldn't get grip is what it seemed like. And, they had a hell of a battle, and Trevor, drove a really good race and was able to pick up some spots and get past Brady there, I think with 1 or 2 laps to go. And
I think so.
Was able to hold on to it.
That moved us on to the B mains. Matt Sherrill was the story of the night in the C main, 13-1 from the C. Parker Jones, Caleb Henry, Kyle Simon. Kyle Simon went 14-4. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Hadn't seen runs like that since probably, was it Beeson?
Yeah.
A few nights ago?
I'd say so. Yep. Caleb Henry is fighting demons in the car. Him and Cadence Raleigh were just everywhere. Danny Stratton was close a couple times, but on lap 6, he broke a left front with Parker Jones and knocked him out of the transfer spot. And then Xavier Doney went flying in on the outside, and that thing it's kind of stalled, but he almost just kind of was so sideways. It's like, they're going to gas up into the field and stacked up a lot of guys. So just kind of a tough break there.
Yeah. And I think he probably was going to stall, but he got a little push going, and then had a 5-car parking lot. He didn't come away unscathed. He had a left rear flat. Sounded like they also said that maybe had an oil hose that came off, and somehow they fixed that and got the left rear changed, and he was able to keep going, but was not able to make it out of the B.
And then in B main number 2, we only have 3 on here, so I don't know fourth is, but sorry, that was we're taking notes as it is.
Trevor Klein, the results up here.
Sam Haferteep Jr. was in the top 4, and then something happened mid-race. Something happened. He dropped out, so that left like Jacob Hughes battling with a couple guys, and somehow, some way, Jacob was able to hold on in the final couple corners, and Jacob put it in the show.
He did.
Awesome. So cool.
I was able to get the results up here. Trevor Klein, Brant Woods, Brad Wyatt, and Jacob Hughes were the top 4 transfers out of that. And again, we got another great job by Blake Anderson getting the interview with Jacob. He actually didn't realize at the time. I think
know
right before.
Yeah, Baston pulled out. Yeah.
Yep. Haferteep broke. So he didn't realize that, and that's when he called out his dad for not being down there, and hopefully he can get him down there. It's what a whirlwind week, I'm sure, for him. What night, really. And
seriously,
very happy to see that for a Knoxville guy.
The A main goes to Christopher Bell. His 9th ties Kyle Larson, who earlier this week did it at 9.
Just can't make it up, man.
Insane.
Larson Bell,
3-time Chili Bowl winner. Larson's won 3 or 4. I can't remember off the top of my head, but CJ Larry 2nd, Ryan Burnell 3rd, Spencer Baston 4th, Kyle Cummins was 5th. CJ Larry jumped out early with the pole, led all the way through lap traffic, looked really good. We went green for a long time. Like
pretty tame
for how bumpy and how rough the track was. The ledge was getting crazy. Like, guys were getting all the way in it, coming back down, just trying any lane they could. CJ just slipped enough with about 10, 15 to go, something like that. And that allowed Ryan Burnell to get by. And then the caution came out. But CJ had gotten him back. Well, this counter said at the line it was Ryan Burnell. So then Ryan Burnell had it. And then just out of nowhere, at the same time, quietly, Christopher Bell just kept staying on the bottom, trying. He got around Baston. And then at that point, it was game on. It was just unbelievable. The track surface was crazy. Bell just made it look easy.
Yep, and we got a chat here that it was very slick, but then you had the curb up top that was awesome, like it was biting guys, and I mean, really, we were in here watching it together again, and like you said, the first 20-ish laps were pretty calm.
I thought CJ was just flat out going to pull it, like he was just cruising.
Had a really good pace, really good, he was hitting his marks and everything, and man, about 7 to go, all hell started breaking loose, Blake. We had crazy restarts and sliders going everywhere. And like you said, the experience in the expo center that Bell has really came through, because when you compare to what we saw from Leary, Bernal, they really seemed that they just couldn't hit their marks. And,
Bell didn't look like he was having issues at all. It looked
not at all
fine for him.
Yep. He was hitting his marks. Like you said, he drove right by him on the bottom and then kind of checked out a little bit, but then behind him, it was just craziness. We had 2 to go, and you had Bell sliding Bernal to take the lead. Leary, Bernal, Basin, they were all battling for second.
Everywhere.
And you were on the edge of your seat the entire time.
I was. It was because you just couldn't tell if they were purposeful moves. Like, some of them, you're like, are you meaning to do that? Like, they're going all the way to the wall trying to find something to then cut it back down. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It was just, what did it for Leary to get second was, I don't know if it was with 2 or 1 to go. He went high going into turn 1, and then like the right rear almost caught the wall. And I was like, oh, he's done. He got too tight. And then he fights it back down. There's a great camera off the crane in turn 1 that caught it. And that's what did it for him. But Bernal, speaking of fighting demons, he was fighting demons. I can't believe he actually hung on to 3rd. I thought for sure he was going to be dropping back more. He was just struggling that last bit. We skipped over it, but I think like I feel CJ might have had a car to win, but what really got him was the restart. He didn't go on the restart, and it just really stalled it, kind of put him in defensive mode, and he got up on the berm, and it just kind of ruined his part. But
it's too bad Cade isn't here, because I would be curious to pick his brain a little bit on that restart, because like you were mentioning there, he kind of, I don't know if it stumbled or just was in the slick or whatever, but he didn't really get a great launch. And then because of that, he really didn't have much momentum going in up top. And I mean, really just let guys right by him on the inside.
Yeah.
I'm with you there. If he would have gotten a better restart, I think he definitely had the car, and he showed that he had the pace to, lead, I mean, the first 2/3 of the race really. And for his sake, it's a good thing that he was able to, kind of recalibrate a little bit and gather it back in to get back to second and lock in. But I think that's something he's definitely going to want to make sure he cleans up come Saturday.
Yeah. Just kind of one of those crazy nights. Roger, I love this comment. We appreciate it. Thank you, Roger, for watching. Roger, you're awesome. Tonight was awesome.
One of the newest residents of Knoxville Raceway, Team DGRD. You're awesome, Roger.
We appreciate it. Tonight was awesome. It was just an awesome night of racing. The track was awesome. Christopher Bell is your winner. CJ Larry is second. Those two are moving on. Shout out Alex Bowman Racing, putting 2 in the show. Ryan Burnell is third. Heartbroken after the finish. Like, you're so close, but what the B main can do to you on Saturday. And you're just like, oh gosh, why did I even, you just don't want to have to put it in that favor.
So I have a question for you. I mentioned it a little bit in passing when we were chatting before this. What are interviews like that like? The guys, you can just tell it. He was emotional after the race, understandably so. And what's an interview like that with a guy that, the emotions are still raw there just after just missing it?
I mean, from my perspective, I think Tony Bachhoven always told me, because I would ask him, I'm like, so what am I supposed to do in these scenarios? And I only spent 1 year down at the infield, but I had to interview Aaron Reitzel after he lost by maybe a foot to Brian Brown after the 360 Knoxville Nationals, one that he should have, well, not should have had, but he was almost going to win back-to-back 360 Nationals, and they'll talk. It's just a matter of you almost turn into the therapist. They're laying on the couch looking up at the wall, and you're just like, well, tell me about it. I know you're pissed. I know you're upset, but tell me about it. And in some ways, maybe talking about it makes them feel a little bit better. And, Ryan didn't seem like he wanted to talk much, but once he kind of got going, he's like, he hated it for his team. And that's really that's what it a lot of times comes down to. You just hate it for the guys that put the car together. But also, you think about it in the broad terms, yes, you want to be top 2. There are a lot of dudes here at the Chili Bowl. There are 404 entries total, I think. And you're in the B main. You finished third on your preliminary night. I get it. It stinks to come up just 1 spot short. But if people didn't know somehow who Ryan Burnell was before tonight, you know who Ryan Burnell is. I mean, that's just, he put on a show, proves that he should be in that car. I feel like a lot of times here at the Chili Bowl, especially, guys get in these cars and they're like, man, I got to do well. I'm in a good car. But yeah,
and he crashed on Sunday on practice as well. Yeah. So like it's been an eventful week already.
The race the champions race.
Yeah.
His car did, but he didn't. And that's a good car. And that's also probably other thoughts. That
and
car
a good driver
really good.
Also.
Yes. But it's tough. I feel for Ryan Burnell, and I hope he puts it in the show on Saturday. Yep, Spencer Bayston is 4th. Kyle Cummins is 5th. I'm just going to run through the top 10. Tanner Thorson is 6th. Chris Wyndham 7th. Carter Sarf 8th. Jacob Denny 9th. And Ashton Torgerson round out the top 10. And Matt Sherrill.
Look at that.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They were interviewing him on the Flow Racing post-race show, as they should. How about that?
For sure. He passed a ton of race cars tonight.
Yeah.
Props to him.
Really, really, really fun to watch. But yeah, it was another great night. I don't really know if I have a favorite night so far. I think they've all been great. I will say Connor Wade tweeted it, and I tend to believe it probably could happen. We could be setting up for an Emerson Axum Christopher Bell duel on Saturday night, and I think it's very funny. I don't know if it was even intentional, probably not. Emerson Axum bowed when he got out of his car. Christopher Bell bowed when he got out of his car this evening. So everybody's just taking bows. Kyle Busch was the original to do it, so everybody's just following Kyle Busch. But it is fun to watch these guys just duel it out, and we're in for another good show tomorrow night.
We are. And there's that Kyle Larson guy also. That's probably going to be a factor come Saturday night.
Bows. That's so fun. Like Larson's win this week, you put his victory lane up with everyone else. Like it's like, all right, look at all 4 of these guys so far. Who do you think won their prelim? not Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson looked like he finished third. But yeah, I'm excited to see how it works out. And, for some people, like, we need to get someone on that has raced the Chili Bowl. And I think to remind of this question, like Kyle raced on Monday. Kyle Larson, I don't think it's going to be an issue. But do some of these guys, you think it's like, well, I haven't raced in 5 days? Like
Kyle went home.
Kyle flew home. Yeah, if you race on Monday, you're like, well, dang, I got to sit around. I don't get to be in the car till
JG
Saturday.
was talking about that. Justin Grant, when he was in the booth, talking about how it's just, kind of just waiting around. It's a long long week waiting around. And I mean, it's nice. Then on the flip side, you race Friday and then you're racing Saturday.
Yeah.
Most of the time, or, some of the time it's not going to be great. If you have a bad prelim night, you crash or whatever, and you're like, well, shit, we got to get stuff fixed. We got to get back here maybe really early on Saturday, or, you know what you have, and you're fresh off of that. You know what the track looks like, your race is like, and what you got, good piece underneath you. And I if it was me, I'd be curious to hear Cade's opinion as a driver. Also, I would think that like Thursday, Friday is probably a really like the sweet spot.
Yeah. It sure feels like it. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's always interesting.
And what do you think, Blake? Brandon asked Chili Bowl 2027. I'm guessing that's probably about us being there.
I feel like we kind of have to. I will say, like, the stuff I'm hearing from this week, like, the Wi-Fi is not great. that
lots of sicknesses already down there.
That will be tough. There are things that will be in the way of said things, but
we got to do it at some point, though.
You could also just go to the Chili Bowl, go back to the Airbnb, and record your post race. But it will be high on our radar for next year. People don't know, but it was close to almost being done this year. We were almost going to go this year. But yeah, it's going to be, we have a lot coming up. Speaking of coming up and a lot coming up, we have big news on Monday. We will be sharing it Monday morning at 8:00 here on the Team Netcode social media channels. We kind of put out, was the teaser going out today? I couldn't remember.
Went out this morning. And you know what, Blake, if you're talking, long enough, what we can even do, I can even pull this bad boy up here and take a look at this. How about that?
It's loading. There we go. How about that? So
look at that.
January 19th.
Professional operation right here, Blake.
January 19th at 8 a.m. Central Time. We have Knoxville Knights. Big news for Knoxville Knights. And I know what you're thinking. I bet people at home, like we saw that comment, they're like free t-shirts. I'm just going to spoil it for you right now. This is not a merch announcement. It is way bigger than a merch announcement. This is the biggest announcement that we have made. It's kind of hard to believe that we're not even a year old and we're making this announcement, but you're going to want to be a part of it. And
it's free to be a part of it also.
It will be free to be a part of it. We're not going to give away anything else more, but it's going to be fun. And we're going to work on how we're going to announce it. I can tell you right now, like, I like sleeping a little bit. Granted, it's going to be a Monday morning. I'm going to be up and around. I don't feel like getting on camera at 8 a.m.
8 a.m. Come on.
I don't really know, but
Blake sleeps until noon. It sounds like a race car driver over here.
Yeah, I know. Well, I feel like half the time, I feel like it. But so join us and make sure to tune into our social media channels on Monday morning at 8 a.m. for big news dealing with Knoxville Knights. And
we do talk about liking, subscribing, sharing our stuff. If you don't watch on YouTube, you're missing out a little bit. It's fun. You get to see us. I know our ugly mugs. You get to be on your TV or on your phone or whatever. But it's cool. We've really tried to work in some kind of thrown in some graphics and pictures and stuff, and that's a goal of ours to kind of improve the production even more this year as well. So subscribe on YouTube if you are into that. Otherwise, we're on Team Netcode on all of our social platforms and on the audio side as well. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the podcast platforms.
Yep. I will be having Chili's on Saturday night. I've already set the plans out. It might not be during the show, but I will take a picture of myself eating Chili's on Saturday night. So,
oh man,
we'll be all set. All right. That's all we got. Excited for tomorrow night. There's a lot of good drivers racing still tomorrow night. Justin Grant's tomorrow night. Excited to watch him after what he was talking about. Clinton Boyles, Logan Seavey. It's going to be a fun night. We'll have our picks out around 3:30. I will be gone. There is a chance, I will say, I could be here because it's going to be snowing and like high winds. There's a chance that what I'm supposed to be doing tomorrow night might get canceled. We'll just have to wait and see.
Fair.
So we'll just play it by ear. But if you are in the Midwest, stay safe. But
definitely.
that will do it for us. We appreciate everyone for watching, and we will see you tomorrow night. Until then, enjoy your Chili Bowl Nationals. Good night.